Spirit, thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. Thank you for my friends, Spirit. Thank you for my friends. Thank you for my friends, Spirit. Thank you for my friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. Thank you. Oh, oh, thank you. I'm so grateful. Ooh, so grateful. Thank you. Oh, thank you. I'm so grateful. Ooh, so grateful. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day.
Thank you, Ginger. That's the amazing Ginger Coyle. Welcome, everybody. I want to start off with a prayer. If you'll repeat after me, I open my heart to the universe, accepting love and joy. I open my heart to the universe, accepting love and peace. I open my heart to my Father, sending him love and peace. So welcome, everybody, to the Center for Conscious Living. Thank you all for being here. We got a wonderful service planned for you today. Wonderful. Ginger Coyle is doing all of our music. So thank you, Ginger, for being here out in South Dakota. We have practitioners around the Zoom holding the high watch for us all, knowing the truth, knowing the magnificence of who we are, knowing that the divinity that is surrounding us, that is infusing us, that is the truth of who we are. And if you have any concerns or doubts or worries, hand it over to the practitioners. Let them have it. And they can pray over it. And if you want it back at the end of the service, you're welcome to take it back. But I recommend that you let it go and be at peace with it. So our practitioners are, our second practitioner is Reverend Cassandra Butler, and she does the prayer requests for today and the week. Our third practitioner is Reverend Al Bennett, our pastoral support, who does all of the chat room and all of that, all the behind the scenes stuff, is Reverend Marlene Volper. And our first practitioner is the wonderful Reverend Michael Rogers. And I'd like to introduce Michael and have him do our invocation.
Good morning, and welcome to the Center for Conscious Living, as already been said, and happy Father's Day. And certainly the very cusp of summer is upon us. So let's just center in our heart, take a beautiful breath, knowing it is the one mind, body, and spirit of the Almighty that lives and breathes us into creation, into this very moment of grace, into this life of absolute perfection where all is done in divine right order, that we are the very outpouring of the Almighty, the very demonstration, manifestation, and celebration of good and more good as we just open our beings and allow for this brilliant download of grace upon us. Knowing that life just allows us to live, breathe, and have our being in the allness of the Almighty, in this sacred grace and this magnificent truth. We give thanks for the masculine divine, this breath of life, this radiant divine grace, knowing every cell of our being, every dimension, energy field of our existence, every grace upon our presence is whole, perfect, and complete. We're truly grateful for the Reverend Carol, the founding minister of the Center for Conscious Living, and for our brilliant Reverend Paul, who will be doing the service today, for the beautiful sounds and music of Ginger, and everybody here that came forward to be a part of this beautiful spiritual community, to be fulfilled, to feel the richness and grace and the magnificence of God in, throughout, and about us, to know that we are held sacred in the heart and mind of the Creator, that we are loved beyond measure, and that in, throughout, and about us is the holiness and sacredness of life, as we just allow beauty and love to stream in, throughout, and about us in the most easy and gracious ways. And we give thanks to our fathers today for all those bountiful and limited blessings. And we reminisce about our Father and the Holy Father's love for us. And we just say yes to life. Yes to the beauty, to the grace, the magnificence, and the wholeness. Yes to today. Yes to this very moment. And yes to our own unique and authentic beauty. And we just breathe it in for, Lord, I am amazed by you. And we affirm it by saying, and so it is.
Thank you, Michael. That was beautiful. So happy Father's Day. We have the amazing Ginger Coyle singing Do What You Feel.
This is one of my own songs. Just a side note that I wrote, it was inspired by my father, who, even when I was just a teenager, first took me to a recording studio and wanted me to just do whatever I was passionate about in my life. And I'm 37 now, so he's still behind me. He's in Florida now. I think he's tuning in. So this goes out to him, and it's brought such an amazing light into my life to be able to follow my passions and to teach my children to do it. And that's what the story of the song really is. Seems like times are getting harder. It's like the world is pressing down. I know that I can't be the only one who feels the way I'm feeling, but don't you let it drag you. I've been thinking about my father. I've been thinking about his hands. He worked so hard his whole life to make a living. He told me, do what you feel, child, 'cause nothing's real. Told me, do what you feel, 'cause nothing's real. Seems like days are getting stranger. We've got drones that roam the skies. I don't need a television bigger than you, it's bigger than me, it's bigger than money. Oh yeah, it's bigger than you, it's bigger than me, it's bigger than money. It's bigger than you, it's bigger than me, it's bigger than the money. Oh yeah. So do what you feel, 'cause nothing's real. I tell ya, do what you feel, 'cause nothing is real.
Beautiful,
Thank you.
Ginger.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you
Thanks.
so much.
Thanks.
I'd like to reintroduce our first practitioner, Michael Rogers, to do our inspirational reading and the affirmation.
Thank you, Reverend
Thank you,
Paul.
Reverend Paul.
Okay. So today's reading, 365, page 186. And it's titled, Today I bestow the essence of love upon everything. We are made perfect when we enter into the communion of love with one another and with the invisible essence of life. Love is the fulfillment of the law. That is, we do not make the highest use of the law unless we use it, motivation by love, by a sincere desire to express unity, harmony, and peace. As the bird soars open to the influx and opens its wings to the sky embrace, so we must open our hearts and minds to the influx of spirit and receive its love, that we may in turn express it to whom we meet. We must embrace the essence of love, that we may transmit it, give loveliness to all events. Today I bestow the limitless love flowing through me upon everything. Everyone will be lovely to me. My soul meets the soul of the universe in everyone. Nothing is ordinary. It is all beautiful, all meaningful. This love is a healing power that touches everything into wholeness, helping the wounds of experience with its divine balm. I know that this love essence, the very substance of life, the creative principle back of everything, flows through my whole being, spiritually, emotionally, mentally, and physically. It flows transcendent loveliness into my world of thought and form, every renewing, vitalizing, bringing joy and harmony, and blessing everything and everyone it touches. Please join me by reading today's affirmation, which is in the chat. Today, I see and love the greatness of my Father, and I cherish our journey together.
So it is.
So it is. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. Love 365. It's amazing. So happy Father's Day. Father's Day. Today we get to celebrate our fathers because they deserve to be celebrated. Believe it or not, we chose our parents. We knew exactly who they were and who they are when we came into this life. And just as I found out when I had children, there's no manual to raising children. You wing it and you do the best you can with what you're giving, what you were given, what you were raised with, and you do the best you can. Our fathers are not just one thing. Sometimes they were loving, sometimes they were mean. Sometimes they were there for us and sometimes they weren't. But no father came into life going, I think I'll be a bad father. Like I said before, they did the best that they could with what they were given. Given their past, the lifetimes, the intentions that they came into this life with, the growth, the learning. They had their own journey to parenthood. And all those journeys are different as there are fathers. So we need to look at our fathers' childhoods and honor the journey that they went through to get to parenthood. It wasn't always great for them. Sometimes it was great for them. My father was an alcoholic. My father had an alcoholic mother and an enabler father. It's a miracle he wasn't an alcoholic himself. He didn't know how to show his emotions. And you know me, I wear my emotions on my sleeve. So he wasn't quite sure what to do with me. Louise Hay says, your parents were doing the best they could with the understanding and awareness that they had. They couldn't teach you anything they didn't know. If your parents didn't love themselves, there was no way they could teach you how to love yourself. So they had what they had, and they gave us everything that they had. They wanted to be the best that they could possibly be, and they were. Our fathers, my generation, our fathers were the breadwinners. They went out, they did the work and brought home the money. And my father was a commercial airline pilot. He flew for Southwest. He flew for all kinds of airlines, but he wasn't home a lot. He was gone a lot of time. He'd be gone for months at a time. But we always had a nice home. We had food on the table. We needed for nothing. We had everything that we needed and pretty much wanted. And when he was home, he spent time with me. He made me feel the love that he had for me. He may not have said, I love you, but I always knew that he loved me very much. I remember one time I was being a little jerk and I was at home and I was whining. I must have been 10 or 11 years old. And I was whining about, I'm bored, there's nothing to do. My dad was trying to, cheer me up and was giving me ideas of things to do. And he said, well, let's go to the toy store. Let's get you something to play with. And I was like, yeah, let's do that. So we went to the toy store and he let me pick out whatever I wanted. And I picked out this truck. I was like, yeah, that's what I want. And I took it home. I played with it for about 5 minutes and then was off outside with my friends. But my dad was saying, I love you by taking me to the toy store. He didn't say it, but he was saying, I love you. And I always knew that he loved me in the midst of what was going on. There are many qualities I picked up from my dad. He was a kind person. He helped people out. He did random acts of kindness. He could tell stories like no other. He was a brilliant storyteller. He was funny, he was charismatic, and he taught me to let my kids know that I love them. Every morning, Jacqueline and I are the first ones up, and when I go off to work, I say to her, I love you, Jack. Have a great day. She goes, I love you too. But I've made a commitment to my children. Since my father wasn't there, I wanted to be there for my kids. And I got that from my dad. I looked at my relationship with my dad and I said, this is what I want for my children. This is what I want to bestow on my kids and the kind of relationship I want to have with my kids. Two of my favorite stories with my kids. I came home from work one day. It was about 4:30, and I came in the door and Stephen was upstairs playing on the computer. And this is about 4 years ago. He was like 24, 25. And I walked in and he said, "Hey, Dad." And I said, "Yeah, dude." And he said, "I love you." And I went, "Thanks, dude. I love you too." It was one of the most amazing moments in my life. And he didn't want anything else. He wasn't asking me for anything. Wasn't telling me anything other than, "I love you." A few years later, my daughter was up in Boston with some friends at a bachelorette party, and she called me up and she said, "Dad, I'm having the best time. We're at this great bar, and they're playing Dave Matthews, and I thought of you, and I wanted to tell you that I love you." And I was like, "I love you too, Jack. Thank you." And that's my relationship with my kids. And I wouldn't have had that relationship with my kids without my relationship with my father. He may not have said he loved me, but I knew that he loved me. I love this quote from Anne Sexton. "It doesn't matter who my father was, it matters who I remember he was." And we have the choice all the time to remember the good and the positive times, or remember the negative and hurtful times. Our thoughts, we choose. Thoughts come through our heads all the time, and we can either let them go or we can grab onto them. Grab onto those good times with your father. They're there. There were good times. There were lots of good times. We need to remember those times in remembering our father, because it brings us joy. It brings us excitement. All of the qualities, all of the wonderful things that we did with and for our fathers, that our fathers did for us. It's that beautiful relationship, that one that will always be there, that we pass down to our kids. All of the qualities, all of the love, all of the good things, all the wonderful things that we remember about our fathers. Choose those. I've been doing a workshop with Martha Creek, and as part of it, we look at the shoulds that we have around our parents and our father. This one, particular one, was about our father. And all of the shoulds that my father should have been this, or my father should have done that, or he shouldn't have done this. And we look at those and we question, were those things real? Were my thoughts around my father, were those true? Were they completely true? And even if they were true, do those thoughts bring me joy? Do those thoughts uplift me? Who would I be without that negative thought? And we go on in the worksheet to recognize all of the things that our fathers did do. It's called both and, because our fathers were never one thing. Nobody is. Sometimes, as I said before, sometimes they were loving, sometimes they were mean, sometimes they were there for us, and sometimes they weren't. So we get to choose the ones that we're going to hang on to. We either choose it subconsciously or consciously. So I'm asking you to consciously choose the thoughts about your father. Choose the knowingness of his greatness. Choose the thoughts, the times when he was there for us, who was there for you. That's our relationship with our father. It matters who I remember who he was. It's my choice. I choose that in any given moment. Now, I want to do something here that is really important. I want to do some forgiveness work. So let's practice the presence of love that we all are by accepting and appreciating our fathers. So in case you have any issues remaining with your father, let's take a moment and release any anger and hurts. Sometimes forgiveness is difficult. So I want you to be gentle with yourself and love and accept yourself no matter where you are, no matter what's going on with this. Just know that forgiveness is always for ourselves to set us free. Emmanuel says to always love your, to always, no, to allow yourself to love is not a gift to give away. It is a gift you give yourself. So let's share some love now. So I want you to close your eyes and visualize your Father in your mind's eye and send him love. If that's difficult for you, see him as a child needing love and send him love. Shower him with your love, with all the love that you have. Send that love to him. Now say to him, I forgive you for any harm, hurt, or hurtful actions in thought, word, and deed by you, real or perceived. I forgive. Release it now. Release all of those hurts. Now, if you need forgiveness from him, say, I ask for forgiveness from you for any hurt, harm, hurtful actions in thought, word, and deed, real or perceived, that I have done. Hear him say, thank you. I set you free. So from this space of love and forgiveness, let's celebrate all the wonderful things about our fathers, all the things that he did for us, all the good things he passed on to us, and all the good qualities that we picked up from him. And again, send him love. See the magnificence that he is. See that individualized expression of God that he is and was. Shower him in that love, that unencumbered love. Know of his magnificence. Know of his divinity. So if you'll come back to this moment right here and open your eyes. So I want to do some sharing from that space of love. If you'd like to share, raise your hand. Like 3 or 4 people to express their love and their admiration and their just wonderment of their fathers. So I'll go first. As I said, my father was a commercial airline pilot, and this is one of my absolute favorite memories of my life. So I guess I was like a senior in high school, and he said, you want to go flying with me today? He flew for Southwest Airlines, 737s. And at that point, Southwest only flew in Texas, flew from Dallas to Houston, Houston to San Antonio, San Antonio to Houston, those 3 cities. And he said, you want to go flying with me today? And I said, yeah. So for the most part, I was back with the passengers. I was watching the passengers and flying to Houston and San Antonio and back to Dallas and the whole route. And we started at like 5 o'clock in the morning and we were going to fly until 11 o'clock at night. And it was nighttime. And my dad says, you want to fly up in the cockpit? You want to take this trip up in the cockpit in the jump seat? And I said, yeah. So I get up in the cockpit, they open the jump seat for me, and I'm sitting right behind my father, who's the pilot, and the co-pilot. All the instruments, everything. I'm in the cockpit. I'm looking out the window of the cockpit and just going, whoa, this is so cool. So they're going through the checklist and clicking buttons and doing all the stuff that they do and checking everything out. And so they taxi and we take off. And the flight was only maybe an hour, hour and a half. It wasn't a long flight. So we're flying into Intercontinental Airport in Houston. It's a big airport. And my dad says, have you ever seen the emergency runway lights? And I went, no. So he calls the tower and says, hey, tower, I've got a passenger here that wants to see the emergency runway lights. Can you turn those on for me? And boom, the whole runway lit up. This huge arrows zipping down the runway, and all the lights on the side are flashing, pointing the way into the runway. And it was just like, I was like, wow, it was so cool. And then my dad landed the plane. And I remember it to this day. He was brilliant at it. He was a brilliant pilot. And it was fun to watch him do what he did so well and to share that time with him. So I'd like other people to share their experiences with their father. Stephen, did you have your hand up? I'm trying to look around. Anybody want to share? Peggy, please share.
Okay, thank you.
Now you can talk whenever you want.
Okay. I think I hit the lottery when I got my dad. He was really loving, caring, and the interesting thing is he grew up without a dad because his dad abandoned his mother when my dad was a baby. So he really stepped up, and he used to. There were four of us. I have two brothers and a sister. He used to travel some like your dad did. He was an engineer and he'd be off doing consulting work. But whenever he was home, he loved spending time with us. He'd take us for walks in the woods and, he'd build us forts and, he'd play in the snow with us or, anything. He liked his kids. He liked spending time with us. And the coolest thing is he lived to be 91 and just before he passed, I went home to visit and I saw him with this old box on the dining room table and he was pulling out papers and reading them and throwing them away. And I said, Dad, what's that? And he said, oh, these are the letters I wrote to my mom when I was in the service during World War II. And I said, yeah. And he said, why are you? And he said, but they're not that interesting because they were all censored. We weren't allowed to talk about what we were doing. He said, so, I said, well, I'd like to read them. So anyway, we saved the letters and just this year, my sister was able to have them published. So my dad became a book and I'll show it to you. I don't know if I can.
Oh, beautiful.
It's called, this is my grandmother and my dad is a baby. Here's my dad in military uniform. This is my mother and this is my dad's mother. And dear Toots, Toots was short for Tootsie, which was the nickname he called his mom. And the subtitle says A War-Torn World Apart, because once my dad got shipped out in 1942, he never came home again until 1945. So he was gone for 3.5 years. Anyway, this is his story in letters to his mother. And they had a really incredible relationship. He was, a very affectionate son. He was her only son, her only child. And then he learned how to be a dad, I guess, just because he really wanted to have kids. And so I'm very proud of him, and I feel really blessed. Thank you.
Thank you, Peggy. Thank you. Joe?
Yes, can you hear me?
Sure can.
Okay. My dad had the most beautiful smile, and he smiled a lot. He was a very successful businessman. He owned a clothing factory, and a lot of women worked in that clothing factory. And we lived in northeastern Pennsylvania, which was mining country. When the mines were closing down, all these men were out of work, and a lot of the women worked in the factory. And he helped a lot of families through very, very difficult times. And I guess what I'm trying to say is he had a very generous heart. And I love him for that. Thank you.
And he passed that on to you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Anybody else? Esther.
Well, happy Father's Day, all fathers. I have to share because my dad was really quite a fella. He actually wanted to be a doctor, but he served as a medic in the war, which interrupted his education. And he fell in love with my mother coming back from the war and decided just to be a chemist. And I think growing up with a chemist is quite an experiment in life because he was always testing his products on us. We were his guinea pigs. But one of his favorite things when he became an employee of Campbell's Soup was in research and development. And he worked on a spaghetti sauce because his mother was from Italy and he had his favorite recipe. So he would always make us spaghetti and meatballs. That was the best dinner of the week we would have. And he was very faithful. I was a family of 6, and we always had grace before meals. And I was raised Catholic, but he would take us to church every Sunday. All 6 of us climb in the car, off to church we go. And prayer was a big thing in his life, and I think he taught me that. But when he was working on his spaghetti sauce, he was thinking of a name for it. So he decided to make it Prego, because we pray and go. And so every time I eat my spaghetti with Prego sauce, I thank Dad, because it was patented through Campbell's Soup. And of course, he said they reaped the rewards, but he reaped all the gratification of having his mother's recipe worldwide. So I'm really proud of my dad, and I love him dearly, and I miss him, but I know he's up there somewhere doing something good. So thank you very much for letting me share.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Pray and go. I'm off.
Thank you. Michael.
Okay, I wanted to share as well because that process was really good. My father and I, we couldn't have been more unalike. There was like, where did I come from? And I couldn't imagine. We were so different. And what, added to that is that my older brother was so much like my father. They were just identical and so into the same things, doing the same things together. And I was just so different. When they wanted to go to sporting events, I wanted to be doing other things in, museums and stuff like that. And that's all fine. And I was always curious. So, you do that. What are we alike? I know that we're both hardworking. I'm brilliant, that we're both good natured. So to ponder, it always gave me magnificent awards. And one of the biggest secrets about my dad that I gained and realized about myself is we're always those type of optimistic people that'll just lasso that next star, man, boom, boom, and we're off. There's just what's next? Let's do it. Let's create. Let's have fun. So one day I was just pondering, what is it and why are we so different? And then I saw something, and this is the funniest thing, but the oddest thing at the same time. My father shares his birthday with John Wayne. Okay, the All-American, boom. I share my birthday with Adam West, Batman. So try and put them two together, and that's my father and my relationship. So it's so true. So I laugh about it, and the levity is definitely created healing. And I loved the man, and he loved me. So that's probably what counts.
Beautiful. That's exactly what counts. Thank you, Michael. I've got Holly.
Paul.
Who?
Oh, I'll share quickly. I was considered a Father's Day gift to my dad, born in 1951. It was either the day before or right around Father's Day. And my father was certainly a gift to me. When he was a child, when he was about 5 or 6 years old, he had an experience at Sunday school that impacted his life and all the rest of us. And that was that he was a bit mischievous, and he had seen the opportunity to dip the braids of the little girl sitting in front of him in an inkwell. And so he took that opportunity and was told by the Sunday school teacher that he would burn in hell for doing that. So he went home crying from that Sunday school experience, and his parents said, "You are not going back there. That is not true." And he grew up listening to the People's Church radio broadcasts in milking cows in the barn in Iowa. And the People's Church was out of Chicago, and the Reverend Preston Bradley was the minister of the People's Church, and it was really a Unitarian church. And so we were all raised, my siblings and I, the four of us, we were all raised in the Unitarian Universalist Church. And I am so grateful for that liberal approach to life and the commitment to valuing the inherent worth and dignity of every person that is so much a part of that. So my dad was a very sentimental person, a lyricist, a poet. He would tear up and say, "Oh, I'm all swole up with pride," when he would watch his children do things. So, and he lived to 93, passed in 2006. 2009. And I was holding his hand when he departed at 3:21 p.m. On May 18th. So and I know he's watching over my brother, who's just had heart surgery yesterday, and who is due to become a grandfather for the second time within the next 24 hours. So we're just, there's that appreciation for fathers and for the role of nurturing males in our lives is something I'm forever grateful for. So thanks for letting me share.
Thank you, Holly. Elena, we can.
That's really weird. Peggy just told me you don't see my hand up, but it shows on my screen. I wonder why that is.
That's all right, sweetie. I missed it. There's a lot going on. Please.
No, that's fine. I'm just wondering, do you actually see the hand, or does it not show up?
Yeah. I've got lower hand. It says lower hand up in the corner.
But you don't actually see the hand next to my picture?
No, the hand is there.
That's good to know. Thank you.
Okay. Sure. So yeah, share
because
for us.
It shows on my screen, which is kind of weird. So I just want to say that I think I was incredibly lucky when it came to my dad. He was my very best friend. And it never occurred to my father that because I was a girl, he shouldn't teach me everything that he knew. And that really, that helped me go far in life. And he also told me that if I followed 2 rules, I would do well. One was never trust a phony, which seems pretty obvious when you're grown
Yeah.
up. And the other was that I could do anything I really wanted to do. And, I figured he was right. And so, um, I went pretty far for a girl from Pennsauken. But he was my very best friend. My mom left home when I was 12, and I stayed with Dad. And it was just a real blessing. He would teach me through the Socratic method. And, uh, I have a lot of really wonderful, wonderful memories. Unfortunately, he died when I was 26. And so, when you're that young, you're still pretty much self-focused because you're growing up. And my one regret is that just as I was beginning to realize that he was a person besides my dad, a little more fully, he was gone. But I miss him to this day, and I can cry in an instant because I really was blessed with a wonderful, wonderful father.
Beautiful. Thank you. You deserved that beautiful, wonderful father.
Well, thanks. We all do.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. So I've got something special here. I hope you enjoy this as much as I do. I cry at this every time. So if you can change your view to speaker view, I'm going to change to, you're going to be able to see my screen. Hold on. So here we go. This is Daniel Namad. I probably pronounced it poorly, but
lately I've been thinking about what motivates me to give a couple dollars to a stranger on the street, to hold the door, carry groceries, help a neighbor in need. When history repeats itself in headlines every day, solutions never big enough for problems that we face. As a man, as a dad, what difference can I make? 'Cause I know better than to think I'll be remembered for a favor or a quarter or a smile. Oh, but maybe before I return to sender, I can do one thing worthwhile. So I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try to raise a kind child. Sure would help if our boy went and got an MBA and took care of his artist mom and dad in their old age. But let's face it, Wall Street probably isn't in his DNA. But when his first grade teacher said she wanted us to know, it's Jude who always comforts any kid who sits alone. There's just so much pride my heart can take. My retirement can wait. 'Cause I know better than to think I'll be remembered for a fortune or a pension or a prize. Oh, but maybe before I return to sender, I'll have done one thing worthwhile. So I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try to raise a kind child. I don't want him to think world is his to save. It's too much pressure anyway. It can't be done. I don't want him to think he has to be a saint, 'cause the truth is saints don't have any fun. Mostly I just hope, my boy, you'll come to understand. No 401k or GPA can make a happy man. It's having roots, doing good, helping out where you can. So put down roots, do some good, take somebody's hand. And you'll know better than most what really matters, what makes living this life worthwhile. And there may come a day your own kids will remember how their granddad used to say with a smile that he raised. We raised a kind child.
Happy Father's Day. Next, we have the offertory for our blessing of our offertory. And Marlene Volper, Reverend Marlene Volper, is going to read that.
Thank you, God, for this abundance that is mine to share. I bless this gift and give it to thee in gratitude and joy, knowing that as I give, I do receive.
Thank you, Marlene. Now we have the amazing Ginger Coyle and the Coylettes.
What a cool song. Thank you for sharing that. I had never heard that before, and it was really special.
Cool.
I'm trying to raise kind childs too.
Yeah. You're succeeding.
Yes. But as you said, there is no manual, and we're literally winging it every day. I don't relate so much to this song with my own father, but I feel that there might be some out there that may relate because of their circumstances with their father. It's a song. First time I heard it, I was like late 80s, early 90s as a child riding in the car, and I think it like really upset me, you know, like the whole story of the song really upset me, and I just thought I never want to feel that way, you know, and not just with my own father, but like with anybody. So here's The Living Years.
Generation blames the one before, and all of their frustrations come beating on your door. I know that I'm a prisoner to all my father held so dear. I know that I'm a hostage to all his hopes and fears. I just wish I could have told him in the living years. Crumbled bits of paper filled with imperfect thoughts still take conversations. I'm afraid that's all we've got. say you just don't see it. He says it's perfect sense. You just can't get agreement in this present tense. We all talk a different language, talking in. So say it loud, say it loud, say it clear, oh say it clear. You can listen as well as you hear. It's too late, it's too late when we die, oh when we die, to admit we don't see eye to eye. So we open up a quarrel between the present and the past. We only sacrifice the future. It's the bitterness that lasts. So don't yield to the fortunes you sometimes see as fate. It may have a new perspective on a different day. And if you don't give up and don't give in, you may just be okay. So say it loud, say it loud, say it clear, oh say it clear. You can listen as well as you hear. 'Cause it's too late, it's too late when we die, it's too late when we die to admit we don't see eye to eye. I wasn't there that morning when my father passed away. I didn't get to tell him all the things I had to say. I think I caught a spirit later that same year. I'm sure I heard his echo in my baby's newborn tears. I just wish I could have told him in the living years. So say it, say it, say it loud. Say it clear, come on, say it clear. You can listen as well as you hear. 'Cause it's too late, it's too late when we to admit we don't see eye to eye. So say it loud, say it clear. You can listen as well as you hear. 'Cause it's too late, it's too late when we die, it's too late when we die to admit we don't see eye to eye.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you, Georgia. Thank you, Jonah. Beautiful. Thank you, Ginger. Ginger.
Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day.
So we're going to skip a couple of things. We're going to go to announcements. We have Reverend Michael Rogers is going to talk about Mary Law's class.
Okay. Mary Law's class, the Exploratorium of Energy, the Kundalini chakra is balancing. It's on Thursday evening. It's a wonderful group of people that meet. And the wonderful thing about Mary's class is she records everything. So we can send you, if you would like to join us, please do go through the office, and she can send you the recordings for the classes that you've missed, and you can certainly join us for the class and the classes in the future. It's a wonderful class. It's a wonderful energy, and the processes are just magnificent, and you can continue to work with the tapes ongoingly. So, and Mary's certainly a blessing. There's a feeling loved in a class is very important, and Mary does provide that.
Another good reason to be there is Michael is assisting or co-facilitating with her, and Michael's energy, Reverend Michael's energy, is magnificent, and they work beautifully together. So thank you, Michael. Julie Fisher. Woohoo!
Hi, everybody. I have enjoyed this service immensely. Thank you. So tomorrow night, tomorrow is the solstice, the longest day of the year. We're celebrating the sun, and we thought we would do some mantra together for an hour or so between 7 and 8. We're going to make some intentions and energize them with some Sanskrit sounds that are easy. You'll have a little word sheet, and what that does is it brings an even bigger vibration to ourselves and what we're how we're flowing. So I hope you can join us. All you need to do, it's tomorrow from 7 to 8 on Zoom. You'll be muted, so you don't have to worry. It's not about your voice, and thankfully that's true for all of us. But all you need to do is, Marlene just wrote it, and Reverend Marlene just wrote it in the thing. Just let her know that you're coming. Send an email or give her a call, and she'll send the link and the paper. It's already done. I hope to see you there.
Beautiful. Thank you, Julie. Go. I promise you it'll be amazing. If for nothing else, mainly because Julie's leading it and her consciousness is brilliant. So also tomorrow or Monday night, Julie, that's Monday. It's Monday, right?
Yep, tomorrow Monday.
Yep. Tomorrow night also is the men's group. If you're a man in the congregation, come join us, please. The men's group is wonderful. We got a bunch of wonderful men that show up month after month. It's tomorrow night, 7 p.m., 7 to 9. Come join us. Be there. Enjoy this opportunity to hang out with other men. The red tent is on June 26th. Anybody want to talk about red tent? It's the women's group. If you need information, Renee Trelease or Kathy Miller, get in touch with them. It's the 26th at 7 p.m. On Zoom. BIPOC isn't meeting until July 11th with Haji Scheffler. That I'm sure is brilliant because Haji's leading it. Julie, talk about your chanting for peace.
Sorry. We chant every morning between 8 and 8:20-ish. We'll just pick one or so chants, and it's all for peaceful being, wellness for us, for anybody, and you can drop in as you like. There's no cost to it at all. Anytime you're led to do it, then please jump in. We've got a nice little group, and we were doing it for just a few days and found no reason to stop. So we.
Beautiful. Thank you, Julie. What a way to start the day. That is every day from 8 in the morning till 8:20. So 20-minute chanting. So now I'm going to re-invite Ginger Coyle to do our concluding song. There we go.
All right, let's sing the peace song.
Woohoo!
All right. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that is meant to be. With God as a power, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
Woohoo!
Yeah, I love that.
So now we invite Reverend Michael back to do our concluding affirmation.
So please repeat after me. Something wonderful is happening to me right now.
Something wonderful is
happening to me right now.
It is this thing called life.
It is this thing called life.
Life is in my body.
Life is in my body.
Life is in my mind.
Life is in my mind.
Life is in my feelings.
Life is in my feelings.
Life is in all my activities.
Life is in all my
activities.
I receive it.
I receive it.
I share it.
I share it.
I am it.
I am it.
And I accept it.
I accept it.
Just the way that it is.
Just the way
that it is.
Thank you, life.
Thank you, life.
And accepting all these gifts together, we say,
yes! Yes!
Woo!
Happy Father's Day, everybody.
Father's
Happy
Day.
Father's Day.
Thank you.
Blessings, everybody.
Happy Father's Day.
Blessings, Reverend Carol.
Great service.
Hi, Reverend Carol.
Hi, Julie.
Hi, Reverend Carol.
Hi, Jane. Hi,
We
Virgie.
miss you.
Hi,
Hi,
Joe.
Joe. Hi, Holly.
Hi, Katura. Hi, Renee.
Hi, happy Father's Day to all the fathers
Gift, Renee.
and to the maids who have the full double duty.
Yeah, that's right.
Hi, Marty. Hi, Joanne. Hi, Bob.
Marty.
Hey, Renee.
Happy Father's Day to the fathers who aren't biological fathers, but they stand in.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
And you gotcha.
Hi, Julia.
Hi, Steve.
Hey.
Well done, Reverend Paul.
Well done.
Nice job.
Nice job.
Service.
Happy birthday, Holly.
Bye. Have a great day.
Hi, Lynn.
Hi, June.
Oh,
Hi,
hey. Oh, yeah.
Hey, Steve.
Hugs, everybody.
Hello, Julie.
Georgia.
How
Beautiful.
Hi, Mr.
Thank
music,
you.
Ginger,
Great job, Ginger.
Bridget, and Jonah.
Yes.
And George, oh, your
And
voice is
my
wonderful.
cherub background
Holly.
singers. They're angels.
Happy belated birthday, Holly.
Thank you.
Hi,
Thank
Lynn.
you.
Hey,
Thank you
Ginger,
for the love notes.
Ginger,
That
apple
was
doesn't
that
fall
was
far
great.
from the tree.
Have a beautiful day, everyone.
Everyone have a great day.
Yeah.
Up,
Love
Kathy.
you guys.
Enjoy.
Hi, Kathy.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye. Hi, Jude.
Hi there.
Enjoy
Hi,
this
sweetie.
beautiful day.
Hey, Bobby.
Where
Hi,
am I at?
Bobby.
Have a blessed week.
Thank you,
Thank you.
all.
Love
Steve.
you.
Bye.
Jen.
For the few left, if you like prayer, call or text us. Paul wants to go and enjoy Father's Day.
That's it.
Yes, yes, I agree.
We went axe throwing yesterday.
You told me. What are we going to do? I'm doing Julie and the men's group. I'm going to have to bounce back and forth.
I know. I know. Well, do you want to do Julie and I'll do the men's group?
Well, maybe, don't you want to
Actually,
do Julie too?
Well, actually, what we might do is one of us do the first hour of Julie